quadrantal angles, even though I don't do it at this point in my regular class. Since it's an online class, I'm going to go ahead and give you the definition and set up the chart. So a quadrantal angle is just an angle whose terminal side lies on the x or y axis. So we're talking about an angle whose end or terminal side is there, 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 or there. And we know that this is 0 degrees or 360 degrees. This is 90 degrees or pi over 2. This is 180 degrees or pi. And this is 270 degrees or 3 pi over 2. Alright, so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about a quadrantal angle, an angle that lies, whose terminal side lies on one of these axes. Alright, now I'm going to actually use the unit circle to show you where our values come from. So a unit circle is just a circle with a radius of 1, like I have drawn here. And then I'm going to use our triangle, our right triangle, to see what's going on with this. Alright, so if I'm looking at this right triangle and I'm trying to figure out what this side is, well, this side is just going to be whatever that x value is. From here, there's my origin, from here to here, that's whatever that x value is right there. Same thing with my vertical distance. This side is going to be my y value, right? Because that would be whatever my y value is from the origin to where I am on the x-axis, the y-axis over there. So there's my y value. Now if I'm trying to figure out the relationship between theta and x and y and my hypotenuse, I'm looking at y being across from my theta, so there's my opposite. I know my hypotenuse in this case is 1 because I already told you the radius was 1. So hypotenuse and opposite. Opposite over hypotenuse. What trig value is that? That's the sine of theta. So I know the sine of theta is going to equal y over 1, or just y. And then my x value, I'm looking at my adjacent side to theta. So adjacent over hypotenuse is cosine. So cosine of theta is going to equal x over 1. Well, this is going to be a big deal because this is telling me that x equals the cosine of theta and y equals the sine of theta. Alright, so that's going to be important, and we're going to use that information along the way in this course. But as far as quadrantals go, let's see what that gets us. Alright, so let's go back to our unit circle. And I don't have a circle drawn here, but let's just look at these points. So if I were labeling these points as a coordinate or an ordered pair, I would say, well, I'm going over 1, I'm not going up or down any, so that point is 1, 0. This point right here, I didn't go over to the left or right, but I went up 1, so that's 0, 1. This point over here is negative 1, 0, and then this point down here, which would again be 270 or 3 pi over 2, is 0, negative 1. Well, this helps me fill in my chart for my quadrantals because I just showed you that my x value is the cosine of x, my y value is the sine of x, so I can use this to fill in my chart. Let's look at the chart again. Alright, so I actually, make sure you can see that. I already have 0 filled in, but I'm going to go over it with you just to make sure you can see it. Alright, so 0, right here, at 0 degrees, the sine of 0, my y value, so the sine of 0 is 0. The cosine, that's my x value, the cosine of 0 is 1. Then I can fill in the rest from that. My tangent is always going to be sine over cosine, 0 over 1 is 0. My cosecant is going to be the reciprocal of sine, or 0 over 1. The reciprocal of 0 over 1 is 1 over 0. 1 over 0 can't happen. You cannot divide by 0, so this is undefined. And then I've got the reciprocal of cosine, which is, this is my secant value. The reciprocal of 1 over 1 is 1 over 1. And then once again I'm back to cotangent, and the reciprocal of 0 over 1 is 1 over 0. Again, undefined. Okay, let's look at 270. Here's 270. What's my x value? My x value is 0. That's my cosine value. What's my y value? It's negative 1. That's my sine value. So this is where all this chart is coming from. This part of it is coming from those special right triangles. This part of it is coming from the fact that I know that x equals the cosine of theta and y equals the sine of theta, and then I just use my unit circle to get all my values.